Hi everyone, Comic Reviewer here. This time reviewing on Marvel Action Spider-Man issue number 2. Now, as you know, this version of Marvel Action Spider-Man is meant to be about Peter going to a Oscorp sort of school and is meant to be the much better version of Marvel Spider-Man. And the cover has Spider-Man battling Scorpion with basketballs. And the story starts off how Peter wakes up and says goodbye to Aunt May, and Peter's saying, "Aunt May? Oh, Peter, I didn't notice you." And pretty much Aunt May points out that Jameson has said that Scorpion and Spider-Man are one and the same. And Jameson says, "Spider-Man has finally dropped the act and revealed his true colors, which turns out to be green." So one of the guys point out that they can't really prove it, but Jameson says otherwise. And Peter mainly says that they can't lie on TV and that, and gets annoyed at the fact that he's being framed. We see how Peter basically is wondering about the Scorpion. We see how Cindy says hi, and they're both going to the same to the school early. And we kind of see how Charlie and Randy get ready to join the school newspaper, and how Miss Brandit says to meet them in room 204. So of course they say that they all need an editor in that, which Randy offers, and they all agree. And so she pretty much will monitor what they've been writing or posting, and to make sure it's kept clean and on schedule. So Randy decides to split in teams and do different stories. So we see how Charlie and Peter go to do some investigating, where Charlie talks about one of the old abandoned labs, and basically how it was maybe under construction, but is still off limits. So they do some investigating, and they're like, "Whoa, what are these? I don't know, but I wouldn't touch them, or anything else in this room. Good point. Don't want to picture the scenes." And so they find a secret tunnel, and then Gargan shows up and quickly gets them out of the room. And you can tell Charlie and Peter are a little shell-shocked, but decide to get some ice cream, which Peter does some investigating afterwards, and sees that it's the Scorpion, and wonders what he's up to. We see how the Scorpion moves the dumpster, and pretty much Peter investigating, and him saying, "Whoa, I guess it makes sense. That's a Scorpion-shaped bad guy would live in some kind of underground cave lair." But when he goes in, sees that Scorpion is in the lab that Peter and Charlie were in earlier. We see him on the phone to an unknown person, who says, "Yes, sir, I won't be spotted again. I'll lock everything up for now, after I test out a higher dose of this stuff." And so Peter slowly claws and finds out that it's Matt Gargan, the gym teacher, and says, "Oops, did I say that out loud? Can I take it back?" "Where did you get that costume from?" "I'll take that as a no." And so Manny tries to take on Spider-Man, but we kind of see how Peter realizes his surroundings. The basketball's on top of the lights of the gym. So Manny tries to web Scorpion, and Manny holds him down. We see how Peter tries to get him up to where he is, and see him using the basketballs and the webbing as a giant hammer, and basically says, "Slam dunk!" and basically defeats the Scorpion head down. And of course we see how Charlie and the others the next day talk about what happened at the gym and that, and how it got crashed. We see how Randy wants to do a story, and Doc Ock saying, "I don't think so. We won't be reporting on this," and that. And we kind of see how Doc Ock looks back at the files and sees that Gargan failed miserably and saying he's really struggling against that mechanical tail. Maybe a few more would prove better balance, so decides to go on a higher dose. And the next issue would mainly have Mysterio. And this is the story. So I think issue 2 is not too bad. I think this would have been an interesting episode had Marvel Spider-Man played out differently. Because 1, the stories are interesting, the characters are more likeable, you've got a believable story, and something that doesn't feel like Peter Parker and the Spider Brigade. So I think this issue definitely deserves a thumbs up. Still good, and still alright. So, Comic Reviewer here, signing out.